We just sang that we're the hopes and the dreams and the love and the life of God. We are the divine manifested in real life. The source, God, the Spirit, the divine, the unseen, whatever you choose to call it, whatever you feel. That's us. It's in every single one of us. That's our power source. And we can use it, or we can just dream up our own. I'd like all of us now to reach down inside and direct some of that healing energy, some of that compassion that's at our very core, and let's send it out to Mike Hishak this morning. He was in the emergency room a little while ago, and now he's on his way home. But Mike's been having some real issues here lately, and let's give him the divine best that each of us have. And while we're sharing that, there is tragedy and hurt and suffering and fear all over our land. Let's share our best, the infinite supply of best and love with our fellow brothers and sisters. We are the love and the power of God. And so it is.
Good morning. A while back, I was with a teacher that I've been with for almost 2 decades, it seems, 15 years or so. We were talking about portals to the divine. How do you feel a connection with the divine? And what he told me that day is that a lot of what we talk about when we're connecting with the divine, all the things we do, all the processes, it really, that might be a distraction. The connection to the divine, he said, is done through gratitude, which for me is hard. My brain talks too much. My brain, my mind, and I don't know that our mind is in our brain. I think it's throughout our bodies. It talks a lot. It thinks, it plans, it worries. And when I talked with him about gratitude, some of the challenges I have is that, well, I'm grateful that I have a nice car. I get me here and there. I'm grateful for that. And my mind thinks, where did that car come from? What damage was done to the biosphere that we have this? And then I go on to other things. What are the other things that I'm grateful for? But wait a minute, where did they, grateful that I can go on an airplane and fly, oh yeah, carbon, oh that. And what it boiled down to for me is that the gratitude I was thinking of was material? Too much material. And what the gratitude that got me more towards the divine was I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful that we find humor even when we're frustrated. We have humor, and that takes the frustration down. I'm grateful for an easy teenager, which I realize is an oxymoron. But as easy as a teenager can be, I am grateful for this child who is no longer a child in my life. I'm sorry, he's no longer a child. I'm grateful for this budding human being in my life. I'm grateful for neighbors, for friends. And that, as usual, is a challenge for me to remember those sources of gratitude, those sources that if I am able to quiet myself a little bit, that they become portals to the divine. That gratitude of, my God, look at these beings around me sharing this journey, how lucky I am, how lucky we are. And that's where the divine has a chance to whisper to us, yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
David, thank you very much. Nobody knows, but I asked him to do a mini message when he walked in the door about 4.5 minutes ago. This is one incredible, connected, insightful young man we have in our midst. Thank you for sharing the best within you. Thank you very much. For that, we are grateful. Well, good morning, everyone. We had a very successful Ring Out Danger. Is that not true and correct on Friday? All right. And I would like to remind the Ring Out Danger crew that if it's not raining, it'd be cool to take the sign down today. And if it's done, I'm always the last to know the important things. Always the last. Tomorrow night, Monday evening, Healing Circle, 7 p.m. right here. Thursday, a week from Thursday or this Thursday? This Thursday? Okay. 10 o'clock, the spiritual book study. Did I say that right? Because I could have made a mistake. I make a lot of mistakes. 10 o'clock Thursday morning. In the hall, yes. Next Sunday will be a board meeting, and at 9 o'clock in the hall, and we will have heat. And thank you very much, Catherine, for turning on the heat this morning. It was just chilly, and I walked in here and it was just lovely. So thank you for doing that every Sunday. We appreciate it. I'd just like to ask a question to a certain young lady sitting back in the back row. Taylor, did you have Halloween? Did you dress up for Halloween?
Yeah, I was a mermaid for Halloween.
What? Tell me about it.
I was a mermaid for Halloween.
You were a what?
A mermaid for
A
Halloween.
mermaid? Wow, like a little mermaid? Did you get candy? Wow, did you bring me any?
She did say not today.
You got candy, that's good.
She trick-or-treated at my house.
What's that?
She trick-or-treated at my house.
She did.
Yes, she did, in her mermaid outfit. She looked beautiful.
Well, great. I'm so happy. Those are beautiful shoes. They sparkles and everything. So, well, what's next? Is it going to be Thanksgiving pretty soon? Yeah? Okay, well, what are you going to be thankful for, you know? You can work on it, okay? Think about it. Thank you for being here this morning, honey, and I'm glad you got candy and went mermaiding for Halloween. Thank you. Are there any other announcements? We're going to sing a song. Maury and Sherry used to sing this song, and it's kind of cool. So I'm going to ask Michael to play it through once and kind of follow it through. But they had a lot of fun with it, and we helped them when it says I'm going to sing part. So Michael, if you will do it through once, and then we can stand up and sing it. Number 326 in the wings.
I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing. I'm gonna sing when the Spirit says sing.
Anyway, you flush.
Shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. I'm gonna shout when the Spirit says shout. And obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. I'm gonna pray when the Spirit says pray. And obey the Spirit of the Lord. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. I'm gonna work when the Spirit says work. And obey the Spirit of the Lord.
And if you haven't been here before, get ready for an amazing experience. We greet each other every Sunday in a traditional Church of the Oaks fashion.
How'd that come out?
That was just right. That was great. That was just the right time. Just peppy enough to be fun. I think it's a good song.
I like it. Yeah, went viral.
Isn't this great? Hello, lady.
We didn't do this in Catholic Church when I was a kid, and I know there's none of this. That wouldn't work.
We got no holy waters or nothing.
Good to see you. Supposed to do it at the ending. Man, this is really hard to read. There's all the scribbling on here and everything. But I'm supposed to do it, extend the ending. Right? Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, It's just, we usually tag it like 3 tags.
Yeah, sorry, I'm missing it. I'm trying to read this. It's like hieroglyphics.
That's from Barbara and Ed Wetland.
Yeah.
Ed Wetland used to, he was Jack Benny's music man, music guy.
Yeah.
And they did Vegas, they would travel all over. When Ed wrote music and he couldn't read his stuff. That's why there's a lot of stuff in that book. It's Ed's writing and you can't make it out.
There's multiple different key signatures and everything. This is, boy. Thank you very much. I so appreciate this.
How about a big, whatever that's called. And you can let it out whenever you want. You don't have to like hold it for a long time. Isn't it? I don't know the right word. Gratifying to be part of a family like this. Just totally acceptant. And just totally all here at the same time, being vulnerable, being loving, all at the same time. I'm going to speak this month. That's the plan. It could change, you know. But I'm going to speak this month about different facets and maybe kinds of gratitude. It's November, Turkey Month, Thanksgiving. So let's think about gratitude. And David, again, thank you for your mini message. Because that is the, what did you call it? The portal. Truly is. So let's read together our affirmation of abundance, may we? Gratitude is the key to the realization and manifestation of abundance. May we ponder that a few moments, Maestro. Thank you, Michael. As we prepare ourselves for our practice this morning, let's sing together I Clothe Myself Safely Round, number 66 in the wing.
I clothe myself safely around with infinite love and wisdom. I clothe myself safely around with infinite love and wisdom. With love, with infinite love and wisdom.
Good morning. Wow, there's so many people. This is exciting. So, kind of like my husband, I was not sure until I got here this morning what I would be doing from this place. But what came through in my contemplations just in the last 20 minutes or so was for us all to go on a journey of exploration of the waves and the ocean. What does this mean? Well, in non-dual teachings, often the metaphor of the wave and the ocean is used to illustrate the difference between our human selves, our seemingly separate beings, and the infinite ocean of being that is our true identity. I find in my experience that these two things together are kind of the paradox of being. But at different times, we need one more than the other. So for this practice, let's close our eyes and take a deep breath, and I want us all to visualize walking to the edge of perhaps the ocean or a very large lake, some body of water that has some waves in it. I like the swells of the ocean. Those really help me sync up with my breath in the present time. So you might just imagine you're standing at that ocean's edge, watching those swells roll across the water. Now, as you're paying attention to those waves, one thing you'll become aware of is that they never stop changing. It's an endless, rolling, undulating energy that distinguishes one wave from another, that makes some bigger, some smaller, some flatter, some sharper. And these waves go on forever. They never fully stop. Now, sometimes they'll be smaller because of the conditions, weather, and the way the earth turns, and sometimes they'll be bigger, but they're always there in some form. Now I want you to expand your awareness from the individual waves to the ocean at large. And notice the effect this has on your consciousness. For underneath all of the action of the waves, all their endless variability and change, the ocean is always one. It is always the ocean, and it will never not be the ocean. And no matter what happens upon its surface, nothing can change that fundamental identity. Take a couple deep breaths now as you sit with your awareness on this ocean. Feel how it can simply hold you up and help you to ride the waves. I read a beautiful story once in a spiritual book about a young woman who had received a healing in a kind of a faith setting, and she said, I remember when I was learning to swim, I learned that I had to let go and let the water hold me up. When I did, I found I could float. And in the same way, I could faith. What do you have faith in? It doesn't have to be anybody else's idea of anything except life itself. The dirt holds us up every moment of our lives. The ocean will hold us if we let it. Can we bring the same awareness to all of life? Namaste.
More gratitude. Natalie, thank you for leading us in a spiritual practice Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, sharing your wisdom and your insight. Thank you. And more gratitude. Michael, thank you for playing. Wayne, thank you for playing. Sabrina, thank you for being our song leader every week. It takes this village, this community, to create something that is meaningful for all of us. And all of us benefit. I have no doubt that David received as much from his message this morning as we did. I know when I do a talk last week was a great example. It was mostly for me. I needed kind of smacked up aside the head a little bit. We are so fortunate. What did I call my message this morning? I have to read it somewhere. Celebrating the legacy and consciousness of our local indigenous. We have so much to be thankful for from the, I'll just use the term, I don't know if it's politically correct, the California Indians, the original citizens of this place. In 1800, California had the highest density of population of indigenous people of anywhere in North America. The next closest place was Mexico City, where the Aztecs had a large population. In 1800, they estimate, the people that keep track of this stuff, that there were over 300,000 indigenous Native Americans in California. And after the white man came in the 1800s and got rid of all the savages and the burglars and the thieves, there were 16,000 Native Americans in 1900. Makes me wonder who were the savages and the thieves. And in spite of that, our American Indians, our California Indians, have created some very wonderful things within our society. And collectively, I can't speak for every individual, I haven't had counsel with each individual, but collectively, it seems that they know they were slaughtered and sold, but they don't seem to hold the malice that they might. And why this is so meaningful to me, and why I studied a lot about the California Indian population, where they're at and what they're doing. How many of you have heard me talk about the we consciousness? Has anybody ever heard that? Vivian Clark was convinced that I came up with that term. And I told her over and over, no, I didn't. I actually heard that about 15, maybe 17 years ago. I went down to Marin and I went to a Bioneers convention down there, and I heard a young college professor speaking. His name was Greg Saris, and he has just been named the director of the Federation of the Grayton Rancheria. I think that's the right time. It could be different, but anyway, intelligent, very intelligent man. And I heard him say that the Native Americans, and particularly the coastal Miwok and the southern Pomo, of which the Federation is made of predominantly, they believed in their culture that everything had energy. Rocks, trees, animals, plants, people, the weather, the air, the water, everything had energy given by the Creator. And as a person, a knowledgeable person, it was your responsibility to show respect to every one of these divine creations that had energy. And if you didn't, that being, that entity with energy, that energy would have very adverse effect on you, like your kids would get sick, or your wife would get mean, or something. And I thought about that in great detail. You know, I think that is the indigenous culture concept before they created religion, before they created kings and queens and monarchs. Nobody knows. I've heard numbers. It's very interesting to me that there were people here 10,000 years ago or 17,000 years ago. I don't know. I wasn't here almost, but not quite. But when I look at Church of the Oaks, Vivian brought us from a normal, conventional, I don't want to say so much, we were a congregational church, part of the congregational entity. And she brought us from there to this spiritual community that has no doctrine, that has a we consciousness. We strive to have a we consciousness. Community is so important to us. And so many other organizations, church, they have these rules, and they go from having a we consciousness to an us and them consciousness. And that seems to work for a lot of people globally. But I don't think those entities that have that us-them consciousness have weathered 10,000 years of existence, still showing respect to all life. And I think this we consciousness that I heard Greg Saris talk about all those years ago allows us to, here again I'll quote Vivian Clark, ask the questions. Question everything. When you live by rules, you are requested to comply with the rules and don't ask questions. When you have a we consciousness and you understand the mystery and the infinite facets of connection and all the different energies, the power that Greg was talking about, the magnificence of the complexity of creation. If you don't have questions, I don't think you're paying attention. And the only way to expand your awareness, to expand your knowledge, to expand your understanding, to create new experience, is to ask questions. And step out of the comfort zone. And I have so much personal gratitude for the affirmation that Greg passed on to us here at Church of the Oaks. to encourage us to continue striving to have a we consciousness. And that connection is far deeper when you live in that atmosphere. If our whole community depended on a we consciousness, as our indigenous tribes did, your awareness of the unseen dimension is beyond what most of us could understand. Everyone in here has no doubt experienced connection and experience in unseen dimensions of one type or another. I'm going to share with you a very true story. Kelly, you and Bonnie, I think, are the only two in here that might remember my wife, Nancy. Nancy was a little gal. She had little spiky hairs, just kind of mousy brown, spiky hairs, and did not look Native American at all. She was 75% Native American. Her father was 100% Grovon, which is a tribe up in the upper part of central Montana. Her mother was 50% Grovon. Nancy's sister looked like Cher Joan Baez back in the 70s, long black hair, olive complexion, high cheekbone, looked very Native American. Nancy did not. She looked like some, I don't know, disco babe or something. Anyway, we were at a convention. I mean, she was cute. But anyway, it's kind of why I married her. Anyway, we were at a convention with the International Association of Printing House Craftsmen down in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we were down there for a week and a half. And one of the trips available, one of the sightseeing things available to this convention was they had tours of a pueblo. I think that's what it was called. It was an Indian village where they lived, not like reservation, just that this was their home. And they had like a golf cart with little trailers behind it where 2 or 3 people could sit in it. And they told us, don't take pictures unless the people nod and allow you to take pictures of them. Do not ask questions. Just look. If you have questions, save them, and we'll answer the questions at the end. There'll be a Native American to help talk with you and stuff. But we'll just stop and allow you to see things. So we were on this tour about a half an hour, and we'd stopped, and there were people walking around, and the tour guide was telling us something. And this very, very elderly gentleman walked out of his home and walked up to my wife. And he looked at her for a moment and said, "Welcome, little sister. Will you and your man join us for food?" And invited us. He knew. His awareness, his connection, understood the consciousness that she had within her. Not maybe a conscious, but a subconscious, her being, her energy, her power. This energy that Greg was talking about. He felt it, he recognized it. And we had like corn tortillas and beans. And they talked about their families and their heritage. And Nancy shared about what she knew about her people. He knew more about the Grovons than she did in New Mexico. But that tells to me, that gives me great gratitude knowing that if we work at and consciously choose to focus on developing a we consciousness, what are the possibilities? They're infinite. What insight might we have into the different energies of creation? What insights might we have in feeling when our brothers and sisters are experiencing anguish or pain or joy? I don't think there's anyone in here who could even begin to conceive of and imagine the possibilities that might be available to us the more we leave me or us or them alone and concentrate and think and be part of we. I hope we can all support some of the activities, some of the desires of our Native American people. Right now, I think there's 105 registered tribes in California. There are like 87 or 89 more requests for registry and recognition. And the really sad part, there's another 100 that were known to have existed. They're totally extinct. You know, sometimes there's some negative thoughts about the casinos around. And I think it's very industrious on the part of our Native Americans. I think they've gotten taken advantage of again in several situations. However, the first casino in California that was a Native American and Indian casino was surprisingly enough in the Santa Rosa Rancheria down at Lake, not even sure it's a lake anymore, Lake Lompoc? No. Down by Bakersfield, down in the big valley, San Joaquin Valley. And they put their casino in, and Vegas owned it and operated it for 3 or 4 years. It was a bingo room, is the company that owned it when it first started. But after 3 years, they took it over. They had, the Santa Rosa Rancheria was 40 acres. They expanded it to 2,000 acres. They put in neighborhoods with livable houses, not mansions, just decent housing, schools, hospital, medical centers, stores with good groceries. And that's been going on for 40 years, and they've expanded and expanded, and they've done some great things for the whole county, Tulare. That's worth it. Anyway, that they've done great things for the county. When Greg was championing having the Great Rancheria Casino here, he demanded certain things from Texas, whatever that was, the Texas properties out of Vegas. They were the ones negotiating to do the casino. And he wanted this and that, and so many million for this and so much for that. And the biggest deal breaker that was the hardest thing to sell was he wanted everything to be unions, so that all the employees were not taken advantage of. They have benefits and 401ks and overtime and vacation and all the normal things that employment should require. He also had these different funds set up that the county they put, I don't know how many millions of dollars a year in our parks, all of our parks in Sonoma County. and how that money, these different funds set up that go to the county, how it's determined, how that money is spent is, it's the county supervisors and an equal number of Indians sit at the table and decide how the money is used. And they've done some amazing things for Sonoma County and continue to do that. And these are from people who are still, despite being slaughtered, still maintaining a we consciousness. They want our environment, our wetlands, our nature to be vital for all of us living here, not just Native American or descents. And I look at my own life and I think of some of my less than great experiences. And do I have the ability to forgive and continue to have respect for every human being and respect their energy and their being and their existence? Do I have the ability to respect our environment? Like David talked about last week and Michael talked last week, David spoke about this morning. Do I have the consciousness to respect all the people who do things that really upset me a lot, who are doing horrible acts on this planet daily? Do I have the consciousness to accept them doing whatever they're driven to do for whatever reason? I don't know. I haven't walked in their shoes, their moccasins. Some self-pondering, self-reflection. But I'm going to wrap that reflection in gratitude that I've been exposed to the information, to the possibility, yes, I can have a we consciousness. You can too. I'd like to have us read together, if we will, that very first quote. Chinook prayer. May all that I say and all I think be in harmony with thee. God within me. God beyond me. Maker of the trees. We are all one. And for that, I give my highest level of gratitude and esteem. Namaste. May we sing now, please?
Let there be peace on earth. 25 and this one.
Peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
Thank you.